We all know what a marae is. A marae are basically where our people gather. It's our centre point, has been for over 2,000 years. Pre all of that, it was the Waka. They connect us, their homeland. The government said that they wanted to help key Māori and mainstream tourism operators to survive. They were going to pick 50. We put in an application, we were one of the 50. Primarily because we were one of the few South Island Māori operators. In fact, I think we're the only Māori operator. Waka is basically the vehicle that we're going to be using, but ultimately where we're going to be heading with this product or this experience is to connect it into the environment, connect it into wildlife, connect it into our history, and then go further and use it as a vehicle to clean up our waterways, replant different areas. So there's a huge commercial community relationship going on here, particularly with the council, and we want to use this as a vehicle to promote that, not just the wakas on the Avon, but also the condition of our rivers is terrible. So this is a great vehicle for us to push that kaupapa, that purpose, and that's one of the main things I think. And that's what we're going to be about, history. It's not so much as the Disneyland jump on and create a false story. It's about jumping on the Disney part, but then telling a real story, a true story.
Puari Pā, Market Square, Victoria Square will come back to life with Waka. So our whanaunga, Dave Brennan with Waka on Avon is kind of bringing our Waka traditions back to Central Christchurch. And to me that's great. It's kind of, it shows that connection that Ngaitahu were in Ōtautahi, were in Christchurch. As I said, not in the winter of course, but they were there, and then they did have that Waka tradition inside Ōtautahi. So if there is tourists or kaitapoi want to come in, and even New Zealanders or people from Ōtautahi, they look at the Avon every day, probably never been on it. Big mihi to Dave and his whānau, the Brennan whānau, for looking at re-establishing our kaitahu, ngaitau traditions back in central Ōtautahi. Kia ora.